I'm Kier.
I'm Haley.
And I'm Jay from Gallifrey Public Radio,
a podcast member of the Gonna Geek Network.
Just like the one you're listening to right now.
The opinions expressed are those of each individual.
Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
And get ready, because geekiness begins in 3,
2,
1.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 322 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. This is recorded live on Sunday, October 14th, 2018. We are tentatively entitling this episode Willie on the Road, Part 1.
Part 1.
Well, I'm sure you're going to be on the road more, man.
Oh,
this
more
is just
likely.
Part 1, and we're going to get more tales from Willie's road stories.
Oh, no. It's all going to be truck stop bathroom stories from here on out, isn't
So,
it?
Willie, what can you tell us about truck stop bathrooms today? What are your initial impressions after a week on the road? Did you get a little Hummer in the bathroom yet?
Whoa, we're going there instantly? Jesus Christ, man.
I kid. But seriously, you just started this new gig. You've been traveling. How's it been going so far?
It's been going. It's been a little bit... Whew, you would not believe the traffic that's out there on up and down the East Coast. And as the bathroom situation, all the bathrooms have been pretty nice, except for this place I've been stuck at this weekend. Bathrooms here are terrible.
And how long have you been stuck there, Willie?
I've been here since Friday night around 1 a.m.-ish, so I guess Saturday early morning.
So I have to ask, Willie, how do you find ways to entertain yourself in a truck stop when really you've got the cab of your truck and what else to do? Let us know. What do you got going on?
Well, to be quite honest, there's not a lot of time to do much anything besides sleep, because I tried that. I mean, I do have my 3DS with me. I put a lot of games on it before leaving, so mostly I got all the Mario parties you can get for the DS, because I was in a Mario Party fiend mode right before leaving, so I was like, I want the Mario parties. I need the Mario parties. The new one's coming out. It's already out, but I ain't got a Switch. I need Mario Party fix. So I got all of them, even the original DS Mario Party, which is kind of the only true. That's my kind of Mario Party, because it's the one where you go around the board, you pay 20 coins for a goddamn star, and then it moves around. Now these other ones, they changed them up a bit. There's Island Tour for the 3DS, which is just all those are pretty much the first one to get to the end of the straight line board. That's what all those are. It's like, these are not that fun. Like, I mean, they're fun, but it's not what I wanted in a Mario Party, you know? And the other one is kind of like an open, like it's a flat, you can pretty much move anywhere you want. You pick up people. It's weird, but it's called Star Rush, Mario Party Star Rush. And it seems like they're using ideas from that one for the one that just came out for the Switch, where every character has their individual dice.
That's right. I haven't had a chance to play that yet. I bought it, but it's still sitting wrapped on the shelf because I'm like, I don't really want to play this one by myself.
Oh, I'm going to be getting it. Tee-hee.
So you are moving forward with the plan to get a Switch then?
Oh, yeah. That's going to be my next plan for keep me busy while just sitting here like I've been this weekend.
Then you should also look into getting a USB-C car charger then to make your life easier.
So they do have those for the Switch.
They
do. Are you talking about those things that you just plug in? Like it has goes into the cigarette outlet? Into
the cigarette
outlet. It has a plug?
Yeah.
It has like a regular plug? Okay.
Well, no, to the Switch, the way its power draw is, if you do like a USB-A to USB-C cable on it, it's going to charge super, super slow. I would look into something like a USB-C that also has a USB-A on it, and then you could charge like both your phone and the Switch off of one thing.
Why don't you send me a link sometime? Not right now, you don't have to, but sometime, to see what you're talking about. I thought you were talking like, because they do have those car chargers that have just like a regular outlet plug into it.
You could do that too.
I mean?
One of the other things I would look at also is, I just bought this battery pack myself because it was an Amazon Lightning deal. It's by Aki, I think it is, that has USB-C, 4 USB-A ports, and I can't remember the other one. It's like a 20,000 milliamp hour backup battery that will charge a Switch while it's playing. It's like
nice.
$40, I think. It was on sale, Lightning deal, for $30. But I picked one of those up so that I could use it to charge my phone and some other stuff and not have to worry about running out of charge on the road, anything like that. So in your situation, since you're driving all the time, if you get one of those cigarette lighter adapters, you can just plug it into charge while you're driving, and who gives a crap?
Yeah. And that's what I've been doing with my 3DS.
Yeah.
And what else I've been having for my 3DS is another Mario game called, it's for the original DS2, Mario and Luigi Inside Bowser's Story, I think it's called. It's like one of those RPG type Mario games.
Okay.
I've been playing. That one's been pretty fun. Like, the top screen's usually used for Bowser because you can switch between playing as Bowser, and then the bottom screen's for Mario and Luigi, and pretty much you're inside Bowser because he swallows you whole. So that's been interesting. You can flip flop back and forth through them to do different things. That has been fun.
That's cool.
And then I also got, because I was always curious about it. Was it 3D Mario Land or Mario Land 3D? The one where you move around 3D as Mario. It's like a Mario game. But then the best one I've been playing for quite a bit since Friday night till still going on is the Luigi Mansion. I think it's called Dark Moon for the 3DS. That's been fun.
With that one.
It's just the Luigi Mansion, the sequel they made for the 3DS.
Okay, cool.
That's been fun as hell, just running around, and the 3D in that's pretty damn awesome. Not so good to play during the daytime, but when it's nighttime, it is perfect.
I could see that being the case.
So that's what I've been having to pretty much keep me occupied. And Chris, I did put up that picture in the Hangouts of my bed. If you want to show if you can screen share that what my bedding situation is.
Yes, give me 1 second to get that pulled up.
No problem. I'll keep talking. And here's some things that Google, I'm gonna have some issues with you for your GPS thing. Why in the hell did you have me when I was leaving someplace in New York? I'm not sure where. I don't fucking know where I am half the time when I'm driving here. I just know I have to go here to point A to point B. Why did you have me go through fucking Manhattan as the quickest route? Oh yeah, there goes. That's my bedding situation. That's why I'm sleeping for all last week and this coming up week.
So since we are an audio podcast, why don't you let folks describe this for the audio listeners so they can understand? Paint a picture for them of what we're looking at.
This truck does not have like a sleeping cab, back behind the seats. No. This is just the cab. I got the window right behind me, and these seats, and then that's pretty much all I got.
And it's also not a bench seat. It's like 2 bucket seats and a middle piece.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This middle piece actually folds down to have a little center console thing to have for your drinks and everything.
But it means the bottom seat part isn't even flat.
No. Well, I mean that's not the issue. My main issue with that is the belt buckles. They do not move. And they move a little bit.
They
just
like to poke
ever
him.
so little bit. That's my problem. And the first, up until Friday, so from Monday night till Thursday night, or till, I guess, and Thursday night was the last night, I only had 1 pillow and 1 blanket because I figured that's all I needed. And then that fucking storm that happened up on the East Coast brought in a cold front. So Thursday night, I was freezing my ass off with just that little small ass blanket that didn't even cover me. I was like, it's been hot as hell. What am I going to need more than this for? The pillow, I should have brought another one just because I didn't think the things through like I never do. But that blanket situation was an issue. So I got a nice bigger blanket, and I'm using my first blanket to pad up the belt buckles.
You got to get yourself a single person size egg crate mattress that they use for camping. That way you can lay it down across the seats and it'll absorb the belt buckles.
My only issue is where am I putting it when I'm not using it?
You could roll one of those up and put it on the floorboards in the passenger seat.
Yeah, but that's where I have all my clothes and stuff too. I'll figure it out. I thought about that. I'll be probably figuring it out. But back to the other issue. It had me drive through Manhattan. Seriously. Now, when I get back home and I start to play some Spider-Man, I'm like, ooh, I drove through that part. I think I had me cross over the Williamsburg Bridge. Is that a bridge in New York?
I don't know. You drove it. Why are you asking us?
I can't remember if that's what it was called. Williamsburg, I want to say.
Could be. Question: if you look at it on the map, like by the crow flies distance, was it the shortest way to go? If you ignore traffic?
I don't know. I didn't enlarge it up because I didn't have time because I was stuck in traffic, like slow moving traffic, so I couldn't stop to take the time to. And also it wanted me to go through one of the tunnels that's directly across from the bridge I came on, and then I don't know. I guess there's not an option for Google to say, or for your Google Maps to say, "Hey, I'm driving in an oversized truck," because the height limitation said I can't go through that tunnel. So I had to quickly hope there was another way off this fucking island. But the problem with that bridge I was coming through, they had that 2 lanes wide. Should have been 2 lanes wide? Hell no. And I'm already in this oversized truck, so yeah, that was fun.
Maybe you need to check out a different mapping system other than Google. Maybe you should try Waze.
I know. Trust me, I had thought that, but this
Waze
was the first day.
Google.
Say what?
Is it?
Waze is Google. They bought them.
That's one of the other ones I've heard of.
Wait, did you say Waze bought Google?
Other way around.
What?
Sorry, Google bought Waze. I apologize.
That'd be amazing if all of a sudden Waze had billions of dollars. Like, we're buying Google.
Billions. We're talking about hundreds of billions there. But I think I took the what's the other tunnel? But anyway, another tunnel a little bit north, about half the island up north, was the tunnel trucks can take. Luckily, I just happened to be going that way. The Lincoln Tunnel, I think that's the one I took. I can't remember which one's which.
So Sailor Poland in the chat room says he has a Garmin that can be set to truck mode. So you might want to look into something like that and not necessarily using your phone GPS for it. You can go. Because these Garmins and stuff like that will also do like live traffic updates and things like that too. So look into something like the Garmin with a truck mode, and it might make your life a little easier. So that's a good point. Thank you, Sailor Poland.
Oh yeah, trust me. I've been in these truck stops a time or two this past week, and I've been looking at. I'm like, ooh, that does look fancy.
You learning all the lessons from everyone else who's been hitting the road before you?
I ain't talking to fucking nobody. You kidding me? I want to know these people. These people seem weird, like me.
Fair enough. So you've been hanging out at this truck stop since about 1 a.m. Saturday morning. You just been eating out of the truck stop and stuff then? Or, I mean, they got good food there for you? Is there like a little food court kind of thing? Or are you just buying like Pop-Tarts and shit?
Well, I mean, most of them have like a food place in. Like this place has a Wendy's in it, but I've been eyeballing across the street. There's this non-truck stop gas station just right across the street. It has a Little Caesars. I might be doing that today. I don't know. I've been missing some pizza.
There you go. You could always call and have pizza delivered to you at the truck stop, I wager.
I could, but then you have to add all that extra money for delivery and whatnot.
I mean, the other thing to consider too is you could just call an Uber and Uber into the nearest town or something like that and get into shenanigans.
That's also, I don't even want to think about how much Uber is going to cost.
I don't know how far out of the outskirts you are, where you are, or anything like that, but
I don't even know where the fuck I am.
So, Willie, what you really need to do then is just get a bicycle and keep it in the back so you can bike to wherever you want then.
You know what? That's not half a bad damn idea if I fully knew that any load I would have wouldn't take up the entirety of the back end.
Well, they make some bikes that are like foldable and they become very small in size. So you could look into something like that.
Because someone my size needs a foldable bike.
He's got a point.
They make like foldable mountain bike kind of things where they're designed to fold up into small sizes. Because I go on weird YouTube kicks, and one of the weird YouTube kicks I went into was people converting their vans into homes and how they live off the grid and things like this. These guys are like, yeah, we have these mountain bikes that we just fold up. They fit in the front seat. He goes, and then when I want to go biking, I just unfold it, take off, lock the van, and go. And I was like, that's kind of cool.
You know what? I can give you that because I've been on a weird YouTube run here or there. Because I got 2 words for you: Marble Olympics. It's fucking weird. I found it weirdly on YouTube, and I was like, I got suckered into it. Like, this is oddly entertaining. I showed it to one person, and they thought it was weird as hell. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to show this to anyone else ever again.
Well, you just told everyone on the internet that you watch it.
I don't care. Well, I'm not showing it to them. And like, hey, is this entertaining to you too?
But they're watching it on your recommendation now.
I didn't say to watch it. I said that's what I watched.
But people listen to you about the things you watch and sometimes
Wait.
think you have good. No, they don't. I'm sorry.
Are you calling me an influencer?
No, I was
No.
not actually. I
Took it
backtracked.
back mid-sentence.
I backtracked as soon as I started saying it.
And I got one more little story for you. I already mentioned that storm that hit. What was that? Hurricane Michael that came through?
Yeah, I believe so.
So I had a run. It was the one before I'm on currently. It was from, I just did a drop off in Virginia, and I had another pickup in Virginia to take to North Carolina. I was like, okay, that's a nice little short run. And it should have just been that one day, done, and done. The problem was the hurricane came through, and I don't know how well you guys know about North Carolina roadways. I know this road a lot. It's 220. But this is apparently 220 business, which I never use anyway. I only use the main 220. But yeah, it's just 2 lanes wide, one way, and there's like a big-ass median to separate the other direction. Yeah, down trees every so often on this fucking road as I'm trying to make my way back to North Carolina.
Yeah, I could see that being the case.
I had to take so many detours and guesstimate my detours because Google wasn't helping. It just kept saying, turn around and continue the way you were going. So I had to go through a whole nother city around, and there was down trees over there blocking my way. I had to detour from the detours to the detours of the detours.
So you were uber detoured, for lack of a better term.
I would say super detoured.
Super detoured. All right.
I'm not German. I'm not German enough to say Uber.
Is your boss aware of all the hurricane type delays in your truck driving?
Well, he lives in Winston-Salem, so he knew all about it. I keep him informed and everything, and he's understanding. Like, oh yeah, nothing you can do about it. Like yeah, I was like, yeah, there's down trees. I'm sure he saw it. I heard the area I live in, I was going right past it. There was a lot of problems. Like there was flooding too, all on my way to where I was going. We got hit by massive. I've never seen flooding before. I've never seen a street be flooded till just Friday.
You've never seen actual flooding?
No, I'm in the foothills. We're kind of like we're up and down in elevation. We're like we don't really hit with flooding all that often. I mean, we still get the alert saying flash flooding occurring, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it here in Boise. We've had the streets flooded where down in the valley, when the Boise River overflows, it'll actually overflow neighborhoods.
Yeah, I was passing by houses that were having like 3-4 feet of water just hitting at their base. It was like, oh, that sucks. And it was like right on the outside of the road. I'm like, oh shit. And I think I had to go through one road that was like just a little bit flooded, but I had to go through it. It's like, I don't want to get detoured fucking again, and this is not that bad. I used my personal judgment. It wasn't nowhere near that flooded.
Don't try anything that goes over your tires.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not.
Yeah. Don't do
I'm
that. That's
smarter than that.
Dangerous.
If it hits the top of your tires, it's getting into your engine, and then you're gonna get in trouble.
Well, and especially if you're driving a truck that has someone else's load in it, you don't want to screw around like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. So Willie, the chat room has asked us to start a game with you right now. We need to start naming movies and see if you can produce the DVDs right now. Your superpower.
I mean, I can walk into this pilot. I think they sell DVDs there.
They might sell DVDs of other varieties there too. Willie, we're gonna get you some pornos.
Porn?
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna sell pornos at gas stations like that. Although I'm not putting it past the realm of possibility. I'm just saying I have not even looked into it. I saw the DVDs, like, oh, I'm not gonna buy a fucking DVD. I buy Blu-rays, motherfucker.
Well, what would you play it on anyways? If
anything, I'll get the fucking Blu-ray with the damn digital copy, and I can just put in the digital copy and watch it on my phone if I wanted to do that. Because technically I have my entire Vudu account on my phone right now.
Well, see, there you go. You could just start watching movies. You just got power limitations and data limitations.
No power limitations. I got a car charger.
Yeah, but you don't want to drain the battery on your truck too much because you're not driving anywhere, so that alternator's not doing anything to charge up your battery right now.
Don't be doing that to me, man. Don't freaking me out.
Now you're scaring him.
I don't need that kind of stress, man. I'm already under a lot of stress.
Look, you got AAA, right?
I'm sorry, what?
You got AAA, right? You'll be fine.
What's these 3 letters you're throwing my way?
Well, it's also a rental. You just call the rental company, like, hey, your truck's not starting. It's all left up.
I don't know how this is all working, to tell you the truth.
You should probably look into that.
Well,
the way I understand it is, I think the guy who hired me rented this truck from the original guy who hired me, and he just had too many drivers and not enough trucks, which is weird that he rented a truck for. I don't know the whole details. It's weird. The guy I was hired from originally, he didn't have enough, trucks for all his drivers, so he sent me to this guy. And this guy put me out on the road, so it's all been a little weird.
so what we're saying here is we don't want to know what Willie's transporting.
Oh no, I know exactly what I'm transporting in the back of the truck. It's nothing illegal. I think right now I'm guessing it's flash drives.
it appears to be flash drives.
It appears to be. Well, Willie,
Well,
What we're saying, Willie, is that you should probably call your boss today and ask what you would need to do if there is a problem with the truck before there's a problem with the truck, so that you know.
No, I fly out by the edge of my seat. That's how I fly.
this
Or
tracks.
drive. That's how I
This
drive,
tracks.
motherfucker.
He was
Yeah.
going to say the seat of his pants, but it's Sunday and there's no pants wearing, so
Well,
he's sitting in the truck.
He is
and
in a
just his
truck. He
drawers.
might have to put pants on to stay warm.
Guys,
It's so chilly right now.
guys. Pants are never an option.
He's never wearing pants
So,
while
Willie,
driving.
what you're saying is you've been freeballing the entire time you've been driving that truck.
Well, if I'm being completely honest here, there was a few days I was freeballing, not gonna lie.
He drove
I mean,
through
I had
Manhattan
shorts
wearing,
on.
He drove through Manhattan wearing just a t-shirt and a smile.
Hey, there's Spider-Man. Hey, Spider-Man, here's my dick.
I regret this immediately. I regret it
Spider
immediately.
dick, Spider dick. Swinging through Manhattan.
We got Chris to facepalm. All right, it's a good Sunday.
That's my job on this show, motherfucker. I'm a professional, goddammit.
Well, Willie, we're glad
makes
you
one
are
of us.
surviving this first week on the road. It's been an adventure, it sounds like.
Yeah, it has been. Oh man, this pillow I bought too has been a godsend. Like, why did I not bring a second pillow? But I'm so happy I didn't, because this pillow I bought is my favorite pillow of all time now. Oh, it's so comfortable.
So, Willie, where is the road taking you until you get back home? Do you know where you're headed to after Atlanta?
Oh no, I don't know until after I drop off the load. Sometimes I have to wait a while until I get another one.
Okay.
So it sends me a message saying you're going here. What pissed me off about this last one when I was going to North Carolina, I literally was right beside home and I couldn't go home
Oh, no.
because I couldn't drive my vehicle, the truck, to my home because you can't really be driving it, to wherever you want to. And I was like so close. I was in Winston-Salem, which is right next to Greensboro. And if I had left my truck where he brought me, he told me when he was first hiring me, he wanted to test me out on a truck to see, because I didn't have no experience with a truck before.
Yeah.
And I surprised the hell out of him because I backed the truck right up into a dock, no problems twice in a row. He was surprised about that. He's saying, usually I'm out here for an hour and a half with somebody until they get it right. And I'm like, yeah, man, video games, man. My hand-eye coordination is fucking unparalleled. And then, I was pretty much Thursday night. That's where I was parked at in this truck, was where we were testing the thing is. I had the option of leaving my truck there and him driving me to get this truck. But I said, no, that's actually closer to my home. I can just drive there, so my truck will be there, and I won't have to drive that far when I get back. We'll go back home. If I had just left my truck and him drive me there, I could have drove home Thursday night. I slept in a nice bed.
I'm sorry, Willie. And you could have
No,
played
you're not. Don't lie to me. I could have been playing Dead by Daylight with Bachman.
It's true.
Well, Willie,
Is there any more questions anyone has? Any more questions?
any questions about Willie on the road? I mean, we spent the first half hour on the show talking about Willie on the road, so we'll probably blow through the news quickly. So when are
give
you
it a
supposed to
D.
be back home, Willie? Did they tell you when you're allowed? When
I
you're supposed to be back home?
I definitely have to be home by at least before next Sunday, because that's my birthday. I'm not just saying I have to be home because it's my birthday. No. I don't care about that. I have to be home because I have to actually my license expires on my birthday this year.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I have to, go do another test for it, to get it put up. So that's so I made sure to let him know that beforehand. Like, hey, yeah, that's gonna be an issue. Like my license is good. I just have to, it expires and I have to re-up it. Just the timeline just equals out to that.
so before we transition to the news, we have a request from the chat room to spot the movie reference in this upcoming statement. The statement is, "This is MacGuffin Airlines, Flight 1138. We were transporting 11 million sticks of dynamite, 17,000 pounds of C4, and about 150 cute little classic bomb-type bombs, and 2 best friends." Do you get the movie reference?
That one I don't know.
I don't know it either. I was hoping one of you guys got it.
Bachman?
I haven't had enough coffee. It sounds familiar, but Sailor Poland got us. I don't know it.
Yeah, you win. Willie can't pull that one off the shelf anyways. There's no shelf
Oh,
next
man,
to him.
yeah.
It's from Lego Batman.
Oh, well, that's why, because I never watched fucking Lego Batman.
Oh, I see how it is. Well, guys,
I barely paid attention to the Lego movie.
fair enough.
Everything was not awesome.
We have killed a boatload of time, so why don't we just roll into the news and continue on with the show?
Yes.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
So welcome everyone to the news of the week portion of the show. This is where we stop talking about Willie's truck stop adventures and start talking about...
Sad damn.
I'm sorry?
Sad time.
Sad
that
time.
we have to stop talking about Willie.
Well, you could just start your own show that is Willie on the Road or something like that. And you could have a Willie's Truckin' Adventures show.
I'm surprised the YouTube videos haven't started already.
I have tried to do a solo show before, and it is a shit show and a half. I can tell you that,
Look,
even
it
with
is-
editing.
You can
It
do
is tough to
Twitch.
do.
You can do Twitch directly from your cell phone. If you've got power, just plug it in and get one of those mounts for your front windshield, and you can point it at you, and you can tell stories down the road. You'd probably need the dedicated GPS then, because I don't know if you could do Twitch and GPS at the same time.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hard no for me.
Hard
At least
no.
as of right now.
All right. Well, we tried. We tried to get you Willie's Tales from the Road as a recurring program. It didn't happen. We're sorry. But what we do have for
we're
you now
still doing this.
is
We're
the
doing
news
it
of the week.
here. You have to check in on ATGN to get it.
That's fair. That's fair. What we do have, though, now is the news of the week. It's some of the most interesting geeky and or nerdy news that has happened in the past week or so. And we'll regale you with tales of awesomeness. Bachman, why don't you kick us off, though?
All right, so I got the bad news and the good news that I stole from Chris. The bad news, for some people, is that Marvel's Iron Fist was officially canceled this week. The first of the Marvel Netflix shows has actually received a cancellation. Disney and Netflix have both confirmed the Iron Fist show will not be moving forward on Netflix, even though, and it's Netflix, so we're never going to see the numbers. But from everything I've heard, the second season got a much better reception than the first. It addressed all the issues of the problematic first season, because the first season had a whole lot of problems. But they are moving forward with the characters. And spoiler for anybody that hasn't watched it, I mean, at this point, if you haven't watched Iron Fist season 2, I'm guessing you're probably not going to. At the end of season 2, Colleen Wing is the Iron Fist, and she heads off with Misty Knight, saying that Luke Cage is getting too big for his britches, as basically the Kingpin of Harlem. So there are lots of options going forward, and this might also be mentioned in the Verge article. This might also be the first show that moves over to the Disney streaming service.
I think that one got debunked, though, that it was moving over to the Disney service.
Well, and it also they can add it to their list of shows that they might launch on the streaming service, because it's Disney's property. It makes me wonder if there's a number that a show has to hit in the Marvel Netflix deal for Netflix to be able to keep doing seasons. So if it just didn't hit that number, then Disney's like, yeah, no, we're not moving forward with this one. We'll put it on the back burner and come back to it if we want. But I mean, it gives them multiple options. Next season, they could quite easily launch a new show called The Daughters of the Dragon. Straight out of the comics, Misty Knight and Colleen Wing as the co-stars, and it could be a replacement for show in the Netflix, roster. And I don't think anybody would have a problem with it, because those two characters got major focus during this season, and they were fantastic.
Or they just canceled the show and they'll use the characters in Luke Cage or have them sprinkled into the other programs that are there, because it's all connected.
Yep. And it could also be as simple as Luke Cage season 3 is the Daughters of the Dragon season. It's Colleen and Misty going in and telling Luke, hey, you became a villain. Knock your shit off. and they butt heads with him for an entire season. Like, I would happily watch that. That would be a great show.
Yeah, what's that saying from that movie? You either die a hero or what?
You either die a hero, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, which is exactly what Luke has done. So, yeah, spoilers if you haven't watched Luke Cage. By the end of season 2 of that show, he's in charge of the Cotton Club, and he's basically the kingpin of Harlem.
Was it? So, I don't think it was called the Cotton Club, was it?
I can't.
It was run by Cottonmouth, wasn't it? But it wasn't.
Yeah, it was Cottonmouth originally. Did they change the name of the club?
I don't think it was ever called Cotton Club, was it?
I thought it was at the start of the show.
I could be very wrong, and I don't know 100%. That sounds really racist, kind of.
Either way, Luke is running the club. That's the crime focal point of Harlem by the end of season 2, and has left Pops because he's not really a good guy anymore. But yeah, the season 2 of Iron Fist, they did a really good job focusing on all the female characters. I was thinking about today, literally the main cast of the show was 4 women and 3 men. Like, they did a good job, like, actually, if anything, just swinging way far in the other direction, making the 4 women the focal point of the show. And Colleen Wynn and fucking Misty Knight were fantastic in season 2. So for me, it's kind of disappointing because, especially for Finn Jones, who got so much crap online after the first season, he did the smart thing and he didn't respond to any of the negative stuff online. He got in the gym and he worked on his martial arts and worked on making his on-screen fighting look better. And they smartly did, sequences where they had him in a mask and a hoodie. And so they could easily replace him with a stunt double and it wasn't so obvious. And so the cut scenes weren't, they didn't have to cut every half a second in the fight sequences. And so the show got massively better compared to the first season. But a lot of people still didn't give it a shot. So sadly, Iron Fist is gone. But yeah, like Chris said, the characters are going to live on. The characters aren't going anywhere. We're at least going to get Colleen and Misty in at least part of Luke Cage season 3. It'll be a question of how much. But then, yeah, I mean, honestly, I think they could do a whole Daughters of the Dragon show with those 2 actresses because they're fantastic. And then the bummers, the way Iron Fist ended, you had Danny finding the guns of one of a previous Iron Fists, and it had a really cool sequence where he's shooting bullets out of the air. And
yeah, they never explained that too well. Like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I thought he had the Iron Fist back in both hands. Like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Nope. If you want to know what that's all about, Ed Brubaker wrote a book called The Immortal Iron Fist. So go pick up this hardback, and that'll explain it to you. Because yeah, it was a separate earlier Iron Fist who had who was a soldier in the war who channeled his chi through his guns, and so yeah, he didn't really fight people so much as he shot them with mystical weapons, which was pretty cool. But yeah, it's just disappointing that we're probably not going to see that part of the storyline go forward. Though we might. There's still 3 shows on Netflix. They're still, putting out lots of content. And then, like I said, there's always the chance that Iron Fist just ends up being the first show that bumps over to the Disney streaming service if they want to move forward with the show at all. I mean, Disney still owns it. So it's not like the character's gone. It might not be Finn Jones going forward because apparently some people still really, really hate him.
I don't. I mean, I still think, sure, season 2 is a better overall season of the show, but my favorite is still the first half of season 1. I still like that better than all season 2.
Really?
Yeah, I liked him coming back and trying to and is it still like the is he this guy? Of course he is, but I mean everyone didn't know. That's what I thought was the best.
I like season 2 because everything about the show improved in season 2. They made their fight choreography better, the story was better, the acting was better. I thought Finn Jones was more in the role of Danny Rand. I thought he nailed, the mystic part of it and the Danny Rand part of it. I thought everything improved for season 2, so I really loved season 2. So yeah, I was sad to hear this news. But yeah, so it's going to be the first.
Said this.
It's going to be the first big shakeup we see with the Marvel Netflix thing to see what they do going forward.
The thing I don't like with all the Netflix shows is I don't care about the Hand. The Hand just seems so localized. It doesn't seem like they're the global enterprise they're saying they are. It just seems they're so we're here in New York. It doesn't seem like they're all over the place.
Well, it's because all the heroes are in New York, so you're not going to hear stories about what the Hand's doing in Shanghai. Because none of the heroes are in Shanghai, so none of the story is focused in Shanghai.
Yeah, I know, but it just seems like they don't seem like that much of a threat.
In the Defenders, when you get the 5 leaders of the Hand and they come together across the world to New York, that was kind of their way of saying, these 5 people were running the whole planet, and now they're here in one place fucking ruin people's days.
And I just didn't feel it.
No, fair enough. But of course, and that was what we got for the Defenders, which came after Daredevil season 2. And I guess huge spoilers if you haven't watched the Defenders. What we saw was the apparently death of Matt Murdock at the end of the Defenders, where he, sacrifices himself to take down the building and stop the Hand. And then we get, all the other Defenders running out, which is why Danny was so ingrained in being the protector of the city, because they all think Matt's dead. And now we get the good news. We got the new trailer out for Daredevil Season 3, which tells us who the villain's going to be. It lets us know what Kingpin's up to, because goddamn Vincent D'Onofrio isn't the most perfect casting since J. Jonah Jameson ever.
Okay, hold on one second. Who's the villain? 'Cause I haven't seen the trailer yet. Is it
Bullseye?
Kingpin. Oh, sorry. Bullseye, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Kingpin's always going to be there.
Well, the Kingpin, it shows in the trailer. He, huge spoilers if you haven't watched the trailer. If you don't want to know stuff about Season 3, because this Verge article, they go into a lot of it, and I won't go over everything. But basically, the Kingpin turns state's evidence on other criminals because he changes his mind about how he's going to make the city better. And so because he gives up other criminals and makes a deal with the FBI, the Kingpin is allowed out of jail and gets to go back to his penthouse apartment and go back to all his money on basically house arrest. So you get Vincent D'Onofrio. Yeah, you get Vincent D'Onofrio with a leg monitor at home trying to run the city from his penthouse. And then basically to ruin Daredevil's life, because Daredevil didn't die. Matt is just kind of, recuperating from the events of the Defenders and running around in the black outfit because his Daredevil outfit got destroyed, apparently. So to fuck with him, Kingpin hires a Daredevil and sends this Daredevil around murdering people. And so in the trailer, you get this awesome showdown between Daredevil and Daredevil, because there's a guy in a red devil suit running around murdering people. And for those that don't know in the comics, I'm not sure, because they've retold this origin a couple times, but I think in one of the origins of Bullseye, this was how he first met Daredevil, was Kingpin hired him to play Daredevil and murder people. So he's going around ruining Matt Murdock's reputation, basically. And then the actual blind Daredevil meets Bullseye, who just has, lethal aim. And yeah, in the Verge article, they go real in depth in the origin story episode for Bullseye. So I want to cover all of that because that looks like something people really need to see. But yeah, it looks really good. They're playing him as a psychopath. I don't know exactly how they're going to explain his power, because in the comics, Bullseye is just basically really good at aiming. I don't know. It's really hard to say what his power is, because like Hawkeye has the extra cones in his eyes, which allow him to hit stuff because he can see better.
Miss, basically.
Yeah, Bullseye basically doesn't miss. But yeah, it's one of those superpowers that's kind of hard to explain. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good one, because yeah, the idea where you have a character that has somewhat the abilities of Matt Murdock without the sonar, but he's enhanced physically. He's a badass, but he's also a psychotic. And he's perfectly happy murdering people. But he's going to work for the Kingpin and wear a Daredevil costume just to fuck the world up. Like, it's going to be a fun season.
I was about to say bring back Colin Firth as Bullseye.
That was Colin Farrell, not Colin
I know.
Farrell.
I know, that's the joke. I was like, my brain's
Colin
Firth.
Stupid. That would be a very, very, very different Bullseye. But yeah, honestly, I love Colin Farrell as Bullseye. I'm magic. He was fucking fantastic in that movie.
I like the Daredevil movie with Affleck. I don't mind
it.
I
agree.
I like it, and I thoroughly enjoy the director's cut. I own both on DVD.
Yeah, me too.
Either version I'm going to say is good. Fuck you people saying only the R-rated version is bad. Is the only version that needs to be watched.
No.
Fuck you.
The R-rated version is better, but the regular version is fine.
Yeah, I still like it.
There's nothing wrong with it for the era that it was coming out in.
Especially, it's the first time that they showed us a hero really in pain, a hero that doesn't have a healing factor, that doesn't have fucking super strength. Like literally on a physical level, Daredevil is a normal human. And the fact that they showed like Ben Affleck in that sequence when he first walks into his apartment and he's taking off the costume and you see his back is covered in scars and he's just like dumping codeine into his mouth and chewing it up. And he goes in the shower and like he spits out a tooth. That's like that. Like, that's a motherfucker that is constantly in pain because of what he puts his body through. Like, that was one of my favorite sequences in a superhero movie ever, because they're showing you that Daredevil on the most basic level is still human. Like, the ass whoopings he hands out, he's still getting hit. Like, he's still getting hurt. And that's one of the things I love that they've done with the show, is that the Matt Murdock in the show, like, they talk about how, like, he meditates to heal faster, but, like, they still will show him get his ass whooped, and then for the next 3 episodes, you see, like, the cuts on his face slowly getting smaller. Like, the makeup department does an amazing job on that show, where they don't forget that last week Matt got hit in the face with a frying pan or something. Like, they keep his wounds constant and consistent throughout the show, which is a really important thing.
Yeah, so this show...
Surprised...
sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I was surprised they didn't bring this part from the movie into the to the Netflix show. I'm not even sure. Tell me if it is or if it isn't in the comics, where Ben Affleck is sleeping in a
the Sentry deprivation tank.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't bring that through.
In the comics, they've always had him in a bed, just because I think originally, 70s and 80s comic book artists, I don't think this ever thought to draw one of those. And really, Sentry deprivation tanks didn't become hugely popular and available for people's homes, I think, until the 90s. So I don't really think it was an option that anybody thought of. And so I think it just became a thing where, whether you got a really good sense of smelling or hearing or whatever, when you fall asleep, your body shuts down. And so I think the writers just always assume that even with his super senses, once, Daredevil falls asleep, his body lets him relax. And so, yeah, that wasn't something that they ever did in the comics, just because I don't think it was ever something they really thought of back in the day.
I still think it was a good idea for the movie. I was like, oh, that's nice.
Oh, yeah, it was kind of cool. Yeah, the idea that he would sleep in a Sentry deprivation tank because he can't turn his super hearing off. Because it would also make me think, like, why wouldn't Superman do that as well? If you can't turn off your super hearing, you'd be hearing everything all the time.
Well, there's some
in a
versions, I think it was
tank.
the Earth 1 books, where he actually has to go to the fortress to be able to truly rest and things like that. Who knows?
Superman has super sleep.
There you go. Regardless, though,
super everything.
Daredevil Season 3 is shaping up very nicely. There's a lot of folks that has seen the first 6 episodes for review purposes. IGN's seen them. I read reviews on that. The Verge has obviously seen them. A bunch of other media outlets. Yeah. They've all said it's really good. It's back on par with what it was in Season 1, maybe even better. They brought in a new showrunner again this year. It's Eric Olson, who was doing The Man in the High Castle, and prior to that also was part of the Arrow team at one point in time as well.
Nice.
So he's come in to run that. They kind of changed some of the fight choreography, I think, is what I'd read in there, but that it's really good.
I do have a question. Really, do we know how many episodes there are in total?
Probably
10?
Probably 10. It's whatever probably Netflix 10, does. It's 10 or 12. I can't remember.
Yeah, because they knocked Iron Fist down to 10 for season 2.
I remember that. Yep.
Let me check. I'll check IMDb and see if they've got a listing. Because it says the new fight choreographer Gary Stearns was fight choreographer on Thor, 2012's Amazing Spider-Man, and Amazing Spider-Man 2. And he's going to be doing the new fight sequences, which in the trailer it also shows you get a glimpse of what appears to be another hallway fight. Yes. So it's one of those things that's become very standard fare in Daredevil, but it's something we look forward to as fans. It's something you want to see if they can top it each year, and it looks like they're doing it again, and I'm excited to see it because those have been 2 of the best sequences, honestly, in the history of television.
I'm going to call it the old boy effect.
Yeah. Because that movie was fantastic. But freaking the original hallway fight and then the season 2 hallway fight down the staircase, like both of them are just amazing.
Yeah, there's certainly an homage paid to that in the trailers, and then in this article on The Verge, they talk about a scene where Daredevil's fighting his way out of a prison, basically. And I was like, okay, this sounds like it could be cool. I'm totally down for it. I cannot wait to see Daredevil and Bullseye go at it on Netflix.
Looks like we got 13 episodes listed and named on IMDb for season 3 of Daredevil.
Oh, nice. Oh, and also another good thing just about Daredevil is just the Netflix shows, the Catholic guilt they put him through.
Yeah, which also this season they are introducing what is more than likely his mother. He's going to be hanging out with a Sister of Mercy at the church that Matt hangs out at. And they're actually introducing that character. So it's been played off in the comics a bunch of different times that his mom gave him up for adoption and then became a nun. And so they're introducing a nun sister Maggie, who will be helping Matt out throughout the season.
So chat room, we have a commenter in there. I seen that saying 13 is too many episodes. They're always bloated. That we'll see how well they do with it this time around. Maybe they're starting to learn their lesson, but I tend to agree is they tend to try and stretch things out to fit that 13 episode arc where you could probably cut a few things out and do a nice 10 condensed. Who knows? We'll see what happens. It's another showrunner. Maybe he had a different vision for things. Regardless, I'm super excited for this.
So
checking the list, the 2 seasons of Daredevil, the first 2 were both 13. So right now it's consistent. So they've all been 13. But honestly, if 13 means more D'Onofrio, I'm all for it.
Oh, man. He's
so in the
good.
comics, that's not his real father, the boxer?
No, that is his dad. But the reason that he lived with his dad is because his mom... Oh, I'm sorry, I said give him up for adoption. I read that wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
She gave him up, and then she disappeared. Yeah, Matt's mom just disappeared after they had the kid. And so that's why he was living with just his dad, and his mom's never mentioned in the origin stories. It's because she ran off, and then in a lot of the different comics, they've played it off that she's this nun who ends up helping Daredevil, and it's kind of the is she, isn't she thing. They've played that off. A bunch of different writers have, whether or not it's actually his mom or if it's just a nun that understands what he's going through and wants to help him.
Yeah.
Hashtag shitty parenting.
Yeah. And as we wrap this up, if you want some more insight on some of the stuff coming in this upcoming season of Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio is an awesome follow on Twitter right now because he's been talking about how he got into the mindset of Wilson Fisk, how the scenes he shot with people and how he enjoyed them, and kind of giving the behind the scenes insight without actually spoiling anything to explain how he's getting into the role. And let's be honest, the best part of season 1 was the Kingpin. The best part of season 2 was the episode and a half the Kingpin was in. He's awesome in the role, and he's just absorbing himself into it, and it's fascinating seeing him talk about what all he did in that role, and he's very open about what all he's done on it. So seriously, Vincent D'Onofrio on Twitter is a great follow right now if you're excited for Daredevil season 3.
Yeah, he's a fun read, and he's really active on Twitter too.
Yes, and just so we disclose, he does go political from time to time. So if you're someone who doesn't want to get involved in the political side of things or that annoys you, just be aware it does happen from time to time, like most other folks on there. I'm not going to tell you whether that's good, whether that's bad, just to give you a heads up that he does go on that slant from time to time. But that does wrap up the Netflix side of the House of News. One last news piece, and it's actually kind of short, but does it really surprise anyone that Ryan Coogler's back to do a sequel to Black Panther?
What? Why would they do a sequel to that movie? It barely made any money.
Yes. A Hollywood Reporter broke that news this last week that they quietly closed a deal. He's going to write and direct the sequel.
How are they going to do a sequel when he's dead? He disappeared in the snap. I don't understand.
Yeah, I know.
What were they going to retcon all of Infinity War Part 1?
Just like all the people melting down because they've seen the set photos from Spider-Man Far From Home. They're like, Spider-Man's dead. How's this possible?
I was going to ask about that.
Come on, guys.
Yeah. For all these people, we have one word for you. Comics.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, these are movies. Movies are infallible.
The set photos from Spider-Man Far From Home are pretty cool. If you don't mind spoilers, I like what they're doing with the costume. Let's just leave it at that.
It looks so nice.
It does look
It's not like another movie. The next movie is going to retcon everything that pretty much, or not retcon, but pretty much make everything that happened in the previous movie invalid. Thor Ragnarok.
So, according to the Hollywood Reporter, Coogler and his team took its time in making a deal, which occurred under the radar some time ago. It was just signed off on recently, and supposedly it's in development to begin production in late 2019, early 2020. So it's part of Marvel's slate of 20 films they have lined up that Kevin Feige's talked about. That includes an Eternals film, supposedly a solo Black Widow film, where I haven't seen this doubly sourced. I just saw it in passing. Supposedly Scarlett Johansson signed her contract to do the solo Black Widow film, and it was like $13 or $15 million. And they're like, wow, she's getting paid like the men do. I was like, well, she should get paid because she's the lead, and she's going to be doing a bunch of action scenes probably. And I agree, in the chat room, Ragnarok was the best Thor movie.
Oh, I will agree with that, but it was pretty much like made, like the whole story was kind of useless when Infinity War came out.
And I also agree
Thor lost an eye. Well, here's a fucking other eye for you. He lost his hammer. Here's another fucking hammer.
Yeah, also comics. They did all of that in the comics.
Also,
here you saved all the people of Asgard. Well, pretty much all of them are gone. You don't see any of them anymore. You don't see any of them. And they were just fucking outright killed. They were not taken out by the snap, so they're not coming back.
And I do have my same concerns that Sailor Poland brings up in the chat room, is that the success of Venom means that Sony may try to yank Spidey out of the MCU. I really hope not.
Oh, please, dear God, don't do that. Sony, don't be fucking idiots again.
I don't think they'll yank him, but I think they're gonna push to get a Tom Holland appearance once they do like either Black and Silver or the Morbius movie. They'll do the whatever second villain they're gonna do. And then I think for the third film, they'll try to do some tie together where Tom Holland will have to show up.
I'm okay with that.
The fact that they pulled off this Venom movie does not mean that this Morbius movie is a good idea. I still think it is a horrible idea.
That's
fuck yeah.
Horrible idea. And Black and Silver is canceled, according to Sailor Poland.
Yeah, but it's been canceled 7 times, so...
Was it Silver Samurai?
No, that was Black Cat and Silver Sable.
Yeah, Black Cat.
I know, I'm just kidding. Wait, Black Cat. I was like, Silver Samurai, that'd be awesome. Oh, wait, did we already get that in the Wolverine?
We did in The Wolverine, yeah. We got
Jesus
the giant
Christ.
suit Silver Samurai.
They really started fucking up with those titles, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Well,
the
it doesn't
Wolverine
matter.
films
Those
are
all
tough.
go away anyways. So that does wrap up the news week, unless, Willie, you had something you wanted to touch on besides some more truck stop tales.
Well, I did want to mention, like you mentioned a little bit, are we going to talk about any more of the set photos from Far From Home?
If you want to talk to him real quick, you can have them.
Did I see correctly? Because, like I said, my internet's been, low, so I've only been seeing a little bit. Was that a black and red suit I saw?
It does appear to be
Alex Ross.
It appears to be a darker suit. Yes.
Yeah, it looks highly influenced by the Earth X Alex Ross and the Miles Morales Spider-Man costumes. It looks like all the blue has been replaced with black, and it's a black and red costume.
Now, do you guys think this is another Stark suit?
It looks like the Stark suit, just slightly different colors and the design. Who knows? Maybe he's had to make his own.
Stick with me here. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. What if they go with the Spider-Man game and Dr. Otto Octavius helps build him a new suit?
That would be pretty freaking awesome if they went the Spider-Man game
That
route
would be cool.
where Otto was involved. Do I think it's going to happen? No. Do I want it to happen? Absolutely yes.
It's a good theory to have. It's just a nice little one. Like, ooh, that's a nice little thought.
It's possible. It does look good though. The photos of the suit on set, it looks gorgeous.
And it'd be kind of funny. They went with white for the game. It'd be funny. They go toward black for the movies.
Well, and the spider on the back of the costume is also white. It looked like too.
Wait, on the Far From Home.
On the Far From Home set, it looked like the back Spider-Man logo on the costume was white.
I don't think I saw the back of it.
That would be kind of weird. I would have to see it.
He's got a white freaking spider in the game.
Well, I mean, but not with the black too. It's red, blue, and the red, white, and blue.
But yeah, do we also want to talk about the thing that Sailor Pulsion mentioned about James Gunn?
Oh God, sad news.
Yeah, go ahead and let's bring that up, and then we'll start wrapping things up.
A little bit ago, DC did a movie that wanted to be Guardians of the Galaxy, and they called it Suicide Squad. And so now they're really going to push for that because Suicide Squad 2 is apparently going to be directed by James Gunn. So everything about Suicide Squad will be as Guardians of the Galaxy as possible.
I don't think that
deal is also going to be written too.
That deal is not done yet. He supposedly is writing it. The director piece of it, I don't think has been confirmed yet. Okay. Supposedly he's one.
Also, he is writing for it.
So that is what I had read. Is that he is writing for it?
Rumored.
He is in line to potentially be the director for it. I don't know.
Which makes sense. And then apparently a lot of people online are pushing for what's his name, Edgar something from the Point Break movie to be Bane. And I'm sorry, but I looked up online. He's 5'10". We already had a tiny Bane. The other people online are pushing for Batista, and that's what I think we need. I want Dave Batista as Bane. We need a 6'4" Bane.
Yeah, we see how
if James Gunn
Batista is all about some James Gunn. That would make sense.
And if James Gunn gets that job and he's the director, odds are, I think we're going to get an actual full size Bane for once. Because I love Tom Hardy, but Tom Hardy's 5'9". We've had tiny ass Bane.
Well, how big is Batista? How tall?
Batista's 6'4". In the comics, I think Bane's like 6'8". There's very few people that are 6'8" that can actually act.
No, if we get an actual Bane, it needs to be CGI a lot. I'm talking about the muscle wise.
You don't want the inflatable Bane that we had from Batman and Robin?
I mean, I wouldn't know, but hey, at least that looked like Bane. At least looked like Bane.
Yeah,
it looked
okay,
like him,
that's
but
fair.
it sure as hell didn't sound like him.
That's
Oh my
fair.
god!
I mean, that's not the actor's fault at all.
No,
Though.
that's true. It's not the actor.
He did a great job for what the fuck he was handed.
And my
can't
understanding of this new Suicide Squad film is that it is not a sequel and not exactly in the same world as Suicide Squad
Yeah.
1 is what I had read. So
What
Yeah,
the
they're gonna-
fuck is this bullshit now?
What DC's doing is that basically every film is in its own universe. Every film is not connected. That way they don't have to worry about continuity because basically their writers are lazy.
God damn it! This is why you? God, I'm broken here.
Hey, and as we wrap this up, Sailor Poland brings up a good point. Don't forget, Gunn has a history with Warner Brothers. He did the Scooby-Doo movies for them.
That's true. He made them
Ooh,
a
I
lot
just-
of money.
Okay, so I got to Reddit a little bit this morning before coming on, and I just saw something that actually talked about this a little bit. Pretty much, the creators of Scooby-Doo, like the original ideas of it and everything, they were kind of appalled when the movie version was hinting at like the stonerisms of Shaggy and Scooby. And they're like, everyone was like, really? You're surprised?
This is
You
where
didn't make
draw
them
the
like
line.
that, huh?
Yeah. Oh, well, what can you do? But that does wrap up our news of the week for this week. We jumped across a bunch
Bullshit.
of different topics. But before we start wrapping up the show, we do like to remind folks that we are part of a network of shows, and Willie's on the road, so I'll read the promo read this week. But a friendly reminder, the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast is in fact part of the Gonna Geek Network. There's 25 plus different shows on there that cover a variety of things. Some are television specific. We've got shows that talk about Arrow. We've got shows that talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We've got shows that talk about Game of Thrones, Doctor Who. We've got things that talk about geek culture or video gaming or tabletop gaming. We've got shows that cover a variety of topics, and we can't talk about them all each week. We can talk about one and give you a taste, and this is episode 252 of Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's about Legion, the episode Chapter 15. And this week, the Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. discuss Season 2, Episode 7, Chapter 15, as well as the weekly Marvel news and listener feedback. They discuss the lesson of the episode, moral panics, and how delusions can pile on top of each other. Why Haley wants Carrie and Lenny to have a relationship, their favorite what-if scenarios, and how Lauren and Michelle met, and there was a lot of geeking out over Batwoman. Yeah, because they did show the Batwoman costume. We didn't touch it on this. You can watch the Starling Tribune or something else and catch it. It looks awesome. So guys, go check out the Gonna Geek
Back
Network.
to you, Chris.
Thanks. Back to me. There's a ton of different stuff there. And if you have a geeky podcast and you're looking for a network home, head on over to GonnaGeek.com, hit the network button, and follow the instructions there to submit to become part of the network. We're always looking for new shows to come and join us in our ridiculousness. All of that being said, though, it is time for us to start wrapping up. And as we wrap up, we have a little segment called What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you guys who are watching live or listening at a later date just what kind of geeky and nerdy things we've been getting into, so that maybe, just maybe, you'll want to check them out yourselves. So, Anthony, kick us off. What have you been getting into?
I've been playing a lot of Overwatch, and I've been doing daily sketches of Overwatch for Inktober, which was today, the 14th, so I'm at almost a day shy of hitting the halfway point. Yesterday I did Moira. The day before I did Mercy. My Friday sucked. I got passed over for a promotion, so I came home in a bad mood, and then I did my drawing, and it looked like shit because I was in a bad mood, so that just made it worse, so then I just went to bed. Friday was awful. Like, it started my weekend off in such a shit mood. But yeah,
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, I played a round of Junkenstein's Revenge with my buddy's kid, which was fun. He lets his son play on his PlayStation account every once in a while, like when they're getting ready for bed at night. And Junkenstein's Revenge is an event they do during Halloween each year with Overwatch, which is really fun because they do Halloween versions of all the characters in the Overwatch game. And Junkrat, who is an explosives expert, they turned into a version of Frankenstein, the doctor, and so he's Dr. Junkenstein. And he basically is storming a castle. You're trying to protect the door, and then Dr. Junkenstein sends zombies at you, and then sends Halloween versions of a lot of the characters, Roadhog and Reaper. And it's a fun little battle.
You're missing the biggest part. You got Dr. Frankenstein. Who's Dr. Frankenstein's monster?
Oh, it's Roadhog.
Roadhog is the monster.
Yeah, Roadhog is the monster. The two characters from Australia playing together. So yeah, it's been fun. They introduced some really cool new skins. They did Slasher 76. Soldier 76 is done up as Jason Voorhees with a chainsaw on his gun. They did a version of Doomfist where he's the monster from the Black Lagoon. And then, I got Slasher 76, which I wanted. And then I got the other one, which I really wanted, which was Moira, who is a Irish-based character. They finally give her an awesome skin where she's a banshee. And she looks fucking cool as hell. But yeah, the Halloween stuff's going on, so that's been fun. A lot of the levels have little like Halloween overlays. The starting screen is the new character Wrecking Ball done in his Halloween makeup, little hamster sitting there eating the top of a pumpkin. It's just a bunch of fun stuff. And then the loot boxes for Halloween from now until the 31st are actual they're pumpkins filled with candy. So every time you open it, like the candy shakes out and then you get your rewards. So it's a really fun update. They've been having a lot of shitty issues with the UI is not working. People have loaded into matches, and I literally started a Junkenstein's Revenge and was running around shooting people for about 2 minutes, and I got the warning saying that I was about to be kicked from the game from inactivity because the game was not registering that people's characters were moving, and then it was kicking them out. So that's kind of shitty. Supposedly there's been 2 patches since Tuesday, though, so hopefully most of that stuff's fixed. Sadly, I haven't played any Dead by Daylight because Willie's been on the road. Maybe I'll check that out today, see if they got any Halloween stuff going on. And then I picked up, I had a couple of Kickstarters come in. The Section 0 book showed up. The Jake Parker one, I want to say Starseed showed up. And then another one. And then this week in my comics, I pulled out the new trade of Saga. So I started reading that. And Saga is still one of the best books being made. If you haven't read it, it's Brian K. Vaughan's basically created his own Star Wars-sized universe with just some of the most amazingly developed characters I've ever read in fiction literature, and it's totally worth it. And, of course, the artwork, the pencils, inks, and colors, all by Fiona Staples. She's won major, massive mini awards since the book started, and they're all extremely well-deserved. It is one of the most beautiful comics out there as well. Honestly, if it was just her art or just his story, it would still be worth buying, but the combination makes it one of the best books on the shelves. It's probably it might be, now that Invincible's over, it might be my favorite book that I'm reading. And then also, I canceled Nightwing off my pull list. I have every single comic book since the Scott Derrickson Nightwing #1, when they relaunched the character with his own series finally. And Dan Didio, who famously has a hatred for the character, apparently finally pushed down through editorial to get rid of him. So outside of the Nightwing title, in the Batman book, Dick Grayson got shot in the head. And so the story they're doing is regarding Richard, where he has no memory of being Nightwing. He has no memory of being Dick Grayson. He's going by a different name. He's running around with a shaved head, and he's now a fucking douchebag. And so issue 50 of the new Nightwing series was the introduction of that douchebag character. And it's so bad that I went down to my LCS and I canceled Nightwing. So Dan Didio finally did it. He didn't kill Nightwing, but he killed Nightwing. And it's just sad. Yeah. It's sad because apparently Scott Lobdell is coming on to write the new series, which will probably be great. But honestly, it was the last DC book that I was getting, and I'm done. I'm done with DC Comics. Like, they keep ruining shit. They ruined Wally. They ruined fucking Dick. And from everything I've heard, they ruined Kyle, too. So my 3 favorite characters from the 90s, they've basically made them whipping boys and destroyed them to bring back the classic version. So I'm done with DC Comics.
But I am happy to hear he came to the Bald Brotherhood, though.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome, Dick Grayson, to the Bald Brotherhood.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm getting into.
Well, cool. I will go next. What I've been getting into, not as fancy. I've been playing the first Uncharted because I bought the Uncharted collection for my PS4. I haven't gotten super far into it yet, but I have enjoyed what I've gotten to play on it so far.
Did they up-res the first game?
They did.
Yep.
Nice.
And it's also running at 60 frames.
Yep.
Super
so I'm guessing
smooth.
that's fairly pretty.
It's pretty nice looking, yeah.
I'm happy to hear you're enjoying your modern day Indiana Jones in.
It has been fun. I kind of missed some of the old Indiana Jones games that used to be out there now.
Really?
Oh, some of those were fun, man.
The Infernal Machine? Really?
I was thinking the one that came out on the Xbox. I can't remember which one that was.
Jesus, there was one on the Xbox? I
Yeah,
think
it
I
was
remember
really
a little bit of it. I remember the Infernal Machine. That was for the 64, I think.
Yeah, that one was pretty crappy. But I've been
Or are
playing
you talking
that.
about the point and click? The LucasArts ones.
No. There was one on the Xbox. It was like third person, like Tomb Raider-ish kind of thing. And it was actually really good. And they did a sequel to it. Yeah.
Sure it's good?
I'm sure it is, because I played the hell out of it.
The only one I ever had was the 360 Lego Indiana Jones, and that one was great.
Well,
Okay,
all the
I'll give
Lego
it.
games are great.
Exactly, they're Lego games.
And I can't say a ton about it, but the Fallout 76 stress test was last night. I got to play. Now,
Nice.
what more can I say? Not a ton, but it was fun. The world was cool. If you've read the early reviews from folks like IGN and other game sites out there, my thoughts echo a lot of what they said in there. It was a lot of fun. I did get to go up to Morgantown in game.
I was gonna say, did you find your neighborhood?
My neighborhood didn't exist, but Woodburn Hall did, and the PRT tracks did, which was really cool. Woodburn Hall, for those that aren't familiar, is like one of the iconic scenes at WVU. So yes, that exists, and you can actually go inside.
Nice.
Vault Tech University is what they called it. So yeah, I got to go and play around with that, and it was a lot of fun. The beta is coming up here in the next few weeks or so, but the stress test was going on, so they're basically just trying to blow up the servers, and they did do a good job with that. So if you get a chance to participate in one of the betas, it's a lot of fun, and you get an idea of what the world's like and if you'll enjoy the game going forward. That's the extent of what I can really say about it, is that I played it, and I thought it was interesting, and if you really want to know better, go and read some of the reviews that are out there already, because they echo what I would say.
So, thumbs up or thumbs down from what you've played so far?
Thumbs up from what I've played so far.
Okay.
I could see it being a lot of fun when you have a group of people playing together. Some of the stuff I don't know how you would do by yourself.
I thought Fallout was solo.
Not Fallout 76. Fallout 76 is open world, stuff like that.
And you can group up? Okay.
Yep.
And from what I hear, everybody...
I rented like one Fallout game and it didn't work on my system, so like I've never really played one.
Oh, bummer.
And is it true that the only people you meet are actual people?
Correct. There are no NPCs in game.
So how do you get quests and
you
all
get
that?
them from computers and robots and stuff like that.
Yeah, tech. I think Willie needs to poop. We should hurry.
Well, he doesn't want to go in that bathroom,
don't
though.
like
It's
that
scary.
It smells bad. It smells like piss.
That's what he was telling us in the beginning of the show. But that's what I've been getting into. Been playing some games, been busy with work and stuff like that. So, Willie, wrap it up for us here. Other than your driving adventures, have you been getting into anything fun? Been listening to any cool podcasts or hearing anything cool while you've been on the road?
Well, I need to get back into podcasts listening because I haven't done so in a while. The only really two I've listened to while I've been out here is actually, I guess 3. Film Reroll. I still love it where they pretty much do D&D style against movies. Like they pretty much start out kind of in a certain like the same kind of way, and then they equally and everyone's playing a character, and they whether or not they do things is all done by dice roll.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I've been mentioning it before, but it's a nice. I like that podcast. It's been if you're especially you're jumping in now. There's a lot of them. They are slow to put them out. But because they can only meet up so often to do it. But it's very enjoyable. Like one of my favorite ones, or one of the funniest ones to go to, is Speed, because they never get to the bus. They stop the bad guy during like the opening part of the movie by accident. So they had another person waiting to be Sandra Bullock, and they just never get to be Sandra Bullock because they don't get to the bus.
Nice.
The dice roll were in their favors. And another good one is The Wizard of Oz, which turned into a 4-part where they actually include a lot of stuff from the other books of the series. And because they go off course, because they actually get to a point where like, well, you come to a fork in the Yellow Brick Road. You want to go left or right, and they go the opposite way by accident, as they do in the movie. They do a lot of research too. Like they notice which ways they go. Especially they did Labyrinth, and they marked down which way she goes in the Labyrinth.
Nice.
And they had a bunch of other stuff written out for if they go a different way, and they had whole areas just boom that weren't even in the movie. So I like that they do their research makes it so much better. And like I said, The Wizard of Oz, you find out you seem to think that not everyone's good or bad in the Land of Oz. It's always just shades of gray. It's like, well, Oz is kind of starting a war with the witches, and the witches are not liking Oz. They all just want land grabs. It's all what it really comes down to.
Nice.
And it gets interesting. And let's see what another one. And they do Halloween, and they already have 2 parts of it. I think they start getting into like the of Halloween 4, 5, and 6. I forget what they call that trilogy. Do you know, Bachman? The Thorn
the
Thorn trilogy,
Thorn Brotherhood or whatever. Yeah, with where they thought Michael Myers was like a demon put into a body or whatever.
Yeah, they kind of get into that in the second part of it. Yeah, I'll do like the first part of it. They did 2 years ago. Then last year they did a follow up, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing another follow up to like a 3-peat this year of it. And another one is called We Hate Movies. They just pretty much go through bad movies. It's another bad movie podcast. I do enjoy them a whole lot. They're improv comedians, so a lot of their comedy is pretty good, especially when they just come up with stuff like for the movie. It's very good. A lot of Gallagher humor too.
Nice.
They make fun of Gallagher all the time. It's hilarious. It's like a running joke. And one I've also been listening to is sadly, I don't think they're doing it anymore, but it was a great one. It was like a trivia podcast called, what's it called? Man, don't go away. Let me go to it. My brain is failing me at the moment. I know this. Just bring it up on my phone. I feel defeated.
It happens sometimes. It's okay, Willie.
Yep. I feel very defeated. It is called, come on, phone. And riveting podcasting we're doing here.
Yeah, I know, right?
Good Job Brain. That's what it's called.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, but they had some problems like right before episode 200, but they finally made it to 200, I guess, when I wasn't listening. And they got up to episode 205, and then after that, I think it came out in June or July. And they just haven't put out another one. I know they were having some issues, but I'm not sure if they're going to continue. But that was also one of my favorites. And then some of the other ones, like, I don't know if I want to get back into, so I might be up for suggestions on what to listen to.
Well, there you go. If you have
entertaining ones.
If you have suggestions for what Willie should check out, what's the best way to get them to you? Tweet you at South Porky on Twitter? Send them that way?
Yeah, that'd be the best way to do so.
Okay.
Like more like film reroll, where it's interesting stuff like that. Like especially I needed storytelling to keep my mind off the road.
Yeah, I totally get that. So, guys, if you have suggestions for stuff that Willie should check out, tweet to him at South Porky. That is his Twitter handle. You can find it on the show notes and things like that. At least I think it's in the show notes. If it's not, I guess I should add it to the show notes. We'll figure it out at some point in time. But, guys,
one second.
Uh-oh.
And I do want to stress this enough too. Homesickness is a thing.
Yeah.
It is a sad thing. And it does hit when I'm not driving. I'm sitting there like, man, I really wish I was home, talking to friends or something. That is a thing. I am a sad Willie.
He's a sad Willie, guys. So send him some stuff to make him happy. And by that, I mean
nice.
like funny memes and podcast suggestions, stuff like
even
that.
Hate mail. I want the hate mail. I've been wanting the hate mail for a long time.
Well, that's fair too. So, guys, looking at the time, though, it is time for us to start wrapping things up. Anthony had to step away. It looks like we will. You have any final thoughts as we shut it down?
They need to really make these bathrooms not smell like piss.
Yeah, that would probably be pretty good.
And it looks like the showers do have like toilets in them, so I'm hoping they are a lot better at this one. They've been good at other ones, not this one.
Well, so good luck to Willie.
Pissy bathrooms.
We will see you all next week, live, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, over on Geeks.live. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek radio app, and over at our network home at GonnaGeek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@GonnaGeek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at Incompetech.com.